Hi, Chris.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. So Lorenzo sends his apologies, but he's double booked again.
I assume he's involved in BAMC this week, is he?
Yeah, but he's got a paper revisions deadline on Tuesday, so I think he's got a
Right.
meeting about that. Did you give a talk on Tuesday, Ben?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
I'd intended to come along, but then I ended up in a meeting with some PhD students from 11 till 7 p.m. and it was the day was a write-off.
Right. It wasn't epi related, so I don't know how relevant it would have been.
My PhD was more evolution than epi,
Okay.
and it was ecology talk, wasn't it?
No, this one was on cell signaling,
Oh, okay.
parameter inference for oscillatory systems.
Okay.
Do you know how many you're expecting, Ben?
I've not had any apologies from anyone other than Lorenzo via Chris. Actually, no, Philip said he couldn't make it, but that's the only email I've had. Did my email come through yesterday?
Yes,
Was it still
yes,
okay? Good,
yeah,
yeah. I'm
been
still having
trying
some issues with spam filters, so I
Oh.
always like to check that it's made it through.
Yes, I got that one. I had trouble with some of yours in the past.
Yeah, I know it's not just you either. It seems to be quite a few people. So
I don't know. I can't make head nor tail of what goes
Yeah.
in. I mean, often it's because they've got links in.
yeah,
So Kira sent a Juniper notice or
okay,
not a seminar notice, a monthly update thing,
yeah,
newsletter, and that went straight into the junk. But again, it probably had links in it, so I don't know.
Hi folks.
Hi,
Glenn.
Yeah, I was just having a look through, Ben. I think it reads pretty well. I've only got about halfway through, but
okay,
Yeah, I've got about halfway too. I've got a few sort of general minor comments.
Yeah.
Most of it I thought was really, really good. So yeah.
great. It's good to hear. I think
One or two things to do with sort of style, I suppose I was trying to pick up.
Yeah, I tried to go through and make some of it more consistent. So some authors seem to like having lots of brackets and subclauses and brackets, and that seemed to be
Yeah.
very distinct
Yeah.
from other sections. So I tried to make it
Yeah.
more continuous, but
I thought that maybe was a UQ thing.
Yeah, so the
I wasn't going to name names, but yeah, that was the main section of it.
the UQ had an awful lot of we's in it.
Okay.
It's
I didn't
very much
pick up on
a first person written
Yeah.
account,
Okay.
and that's sort of stuck out for me like a sore thumb, having read
Yeah.
through the introduction and so on.
Yeah.
I think, and then when I got, and then of course we lost that, and then when you get to section 5, there are some on the elicitation. I think with elicitation you sort of need them in some of the places. So I suspect that what one needs to do is just to, to
Be
trim
mindful,
them
go
down
through
a
it,
bit
yeah.
so that there are a few left in. I mean, I'm happy to
Okay.
go through and do that sort of thing at some stage if you want, but obviously there needs to be some agreement
Yeah.
what one's aiming for. I mean, also there was data, which is still, you know, it varies from section to section as to whether
Should
it's
be
singular or
pluralised.
plural.
Yeah.
And in the odd place, I found even in successive sentences within a section, it changed. Maybe I'm a bit sensitive to it, but I think we ought to be. I have a strong preference, but it's not up to me. But
Yeah.
I think at least we ought to be consistent.
Yeah.
Um,
Is there an agreed protocol on referencing the other papers in the series?
I was
wasn't
going
sure
to,
how
I was
to.
going to raise that, and it's not something we've discussed, and it's a bit difficult because I was trying to think how we can do it, because of course you don't actually know they're going to appear at the moment. And all that. And it is something that could be changed in proof once it's gone through the refereeing.
Yeah.
So I thought for the moment, probably the best thing was to reference things as just, I mean, in the text in the same way, you know, so Marion 2021 or something.
Okay.
And then in the actual bit in the reference, give the title and then put submitted to the current volume or you know, something that implies submitted to epidemics or in preparation for epidemics current volume or something, so that I don't know, I wasn't sure what to do really. I mean, my first thought was to sort of thinking of to appear this volume, and then I thought, well, we don't actually know that anything is to appear at the moment.
Yeah.
So
hopefully at some point it will evolve just to be.
We can change it later.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think for the moment we just need something that's reasonably clear for the referees or anybody reading it.
As I felt like chapter 6 doesn't necessarily mean anything to anyone.
I mean,
outside
it's
of
kind of a
the group.
useful internal kind of note, but I guess we're getting to the point where
I think for referees, for Hans, Hans probably is okay because he knows about the structure, but for others it would be difficult. But as you say, we all know exactly what we mean if we talk about chapter 6. I just whipping through to see what else were the general things.
Yeah. There's still some references that people have just put refs in the, and I would put some in myself that I thought were obvious, but then there's some others that I'm less familiar with the literature on, so I'll leave that to others to specify.
There was some bits in section 3. The other sections are more tightly written, I think, than that one. It's still a little bit wordy in places.
Yeah, I did do quite a bit of reduction on that and joined together some of the subsections that I thought were quite repetitive, but I'm happy to
think it's
spend some more time.
I don't know, it's what other people think. Oh, and the other one, I'm just sort of scrolling through, was still a bit inconsistent about the use of bold for challenges and so on. I mean, you got it much more unified with the challenges after each section. But sometimes they're a list, sometimes they've got little bold headings and again, I suppose, I mean, I don't know at what stage one really needs to so
there's at least maybe the version I sent in the email, I have made some edits since then that they're now all, some of them have all got bold in them, but some of them it's kind of like a few words at the start, and then others it's more
in the
sentence, depending on how they're written, but we can try and make that more consistent.
I think
it's all
that was all the obvious things. I say, apart from the odd case where I thought, you know, we could have a comma or something. Nothing exciting.
Chris, given that you were the main author on 7.6, are you happy with what I've done with that? I didn't want to make you feel like it wasn't
Yeah, so if you just sort of dispersed it throughout.
Yeah, so I mean, I felt what was happening was that you were kind of just relisting the challenges again and then saying, here's an example of this for R0 or RT.
Yeah.
And given we were way over the word limit, I felt it was more sensible that when we mention each of the challenges, then it could just be mentioned that, you know, an example of this relevant to the current pandemic was this.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah, because it's, if we're over the word count, it's unnecessary to have it.
Yeah, I sort of, well, we discussed last week the idea of putting it in a table, which we could have done, but I thought, given that I was editing the text, it was as easy to do it that way. But we can certainly look at reverting to a table if people would prefer.
I wasn't looking out for it specifically, although I noted you said you'd done it. So I think you must have blended it in pretty well. You know,
I mean, I think it very naturally followed a lot
Yeah.
of the challenges anyway, so it wasn't that difficult to do. And what was
Yeah,
there
I
was
tried to
written
write
nicely,
it
so
in the way that was sort of directly linked to sections. So yeah,
yeah.
I will double check and read through
Yeah.
the weekend.
It was just a case that you were sort of ended up saying, you know, one of the challenges is delay in the data, and here is an example of this. Well, it sort of felt like we'd already written that in the previous section, so just saying and having grounding reference points during the text of this is irrelevant, and this is where the challenges arisen in the current pandemic, I think is quite nice to make it relevant to those who have been involved in this one. So I guess the process is just to ask everyone to read through the draft this week and let me know if you've got any comments, either as a separate document or I guess just commenting on the same draft in the Dropbox would be fine as well.
So will it be easier just to make comments from now on, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if there's big sections in your sections that you'd like to change, then I guess you can make them, but it probably would just, well, I'm hoping that it'll just be relatively small changes now and tweaks, but yeah, I think that makes sense.
even if it's big changes, you'd presumably like to sort of keep them separate from the
Yeah, just to check, especially if it's on someone else's section, then again, I'd rather not be making, I tried not to make too drastic changes to anyone's work already, but if it's a case of just helping it flow or trying to reduce the words a bit further, then that's fine. But probably a comment would be more helpful, and then either I can change it, or if it's obviously something you'd be more capable of doing than I would, then we can agree that you can do it. And also, if you have if there's references in your section that haven't been added yet, then adding those as comments would be helpful, and then I can add them to the bibliography file that I have and export it directly.
Yeah, can we, if we spot small typos, can we just correct them? You know,
Yes, of course. Yeah, if it's just very small.
I mean, I've spotted 3 small things, including data trying to be singular on the first page.
Well, this was, yes, I raised this because we do need to be consistent. As you say, I have a strong preference for data being plural, but
yeah,
if we get, I know not everybody follows that. If we're going to make it singular, at least we need to make it singular throughout, and it's oscillating at the moment. So I think Ben can make an executive decision on that one.
I'm happy for data to be plural.
You better let it be your preference.
Yeah, I think it was drummed into me enough during my PhD that data are plural, so I'm happy to go ahead with that.
I'm old enough to have a Latin O level.
Well, ditto.
Somewhere in my attic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can go through now. You pointed those out. There are definitely things I can go through and make sure each one is.
Well, I on the version I've been looking at, I haven't changed anything like that.
Yeah,
I can do.
That's fine. Yeah,
it's easy to do.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just continue going through and making some comments. And
yeah, that would be helpful. Thank you.
I've got a few questions on the UQ section, so I might email Peter, and
Yeah,
when I send it back to you, I might just copy Peter in or something.
yeah,
And
that's
yeah.
fine.
Okay, I might sign off there. Actually, I'm
Yeah,
trying.
I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, it's great to have your input, but it makes sense if you want to work on it in your own time, and then let me have your comments. Unless there's anything else we want to
I don't think so.
discuss now.
So the plan is comments back to you. Do you want to set a time when you want those?
Yeah, I mean, maybe middle of next week. Is that feasible?
Well, it is for me,
Tuesday.
but I don't know about others.
Yeah.
But well, in time that we meet again next Friday.
Yeah, I can try and incorporate them by next Thursday, and
So you'd like them by sort of Wednesday latest, presumably?
yeah, ideally. I've got a bit of time on Wednesday, but
I should be
Well,
able
do you,
to.
I mean, you say when
Yeah.
you got them.
yeah, sorry, I've got the whole of Thursday as well. So
So Lorenzo might be able to get you something by Thursday. He
Yeah.
messaged me saying he can read it after Tuesday. So I assume that means
Okay.
Wednesday onwards.
yeah, that's fine. I mean, preferably by Wednesday, but if there's a few last minute ones by Thursday, then that's fine because I can incorporate those at the end anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we aim for Wednesday, then that would be good.
Okay.
Just to say for those that is relevant, I am still working on the modelling one. I apologise for not having sent it around a week ago, which is when my original deadline.
Not to worry.
But hopefully I'll send something either first thing tomorrow or this evening, and we can just take it from there. But I think it's coming as well. It's not quite as, it doesn't look quite as complete as this one, but.
Sounds good. Well, this one's pretty near to going to Hans, presumably. A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that maybe by this time next week we can send something to Hans, even if there's a few small internal changes we need to make before submitting.
Yeah.
Just to give him a bit more time to look at it. But,
yeah.
I know we've had a chat already by email, Philip. Is there anything else you wanted to comment on?
When we've got this finally out of the way, which I hope will be soon, are we then going to be able to release this slot for other purposes?
Do you think so?
No, sorry.
You'll miss it, Phil.
No, I won't. It's lovely chatting with all you folks. But...
Well, we could turn it into a new session to actually try and sort out the challenges.
Yeah, solve them.
Solutions.
Right. Well, look, I think you're about to be let off the hook now. So for this week. So
short and sweet.
Yeah. I'll send a message around to those who aren't here. Oh, here's TJ just arriving now.
Should we wait and see if he's got anything to say?
I guess if anyone needs to leave and would like to leave, then feel free to
I'll
do so. Thanks, Glenn. Yeah.
Thanks.
Sorry,
Right.
Hi, TJ.
I'm running. Yeah, sorry, I've been away and I'm running behind today.
No, it's fine. Don't worry. I mean,
And then I'm away next week as well, so I'm not sure how much I'm going to be. I haven't had a chance to have a look through the paper. Sorry, Ben, I got your email.
No, that's fine. Yeah, don't worry.
I've got paper revisions today, so I will try to have a look at it tomorrow and feedback because I won't be here next week. So
okay. So what I've suggested is people try and get some comments back to me by middle of next week, just to give me time to incorporate them, and then hopefully try and have it ready to send off to Hans next week this time, with maybe a few small changes to additions. But essentially, it's just any comments you have, any references that you want to add to sections that haven't already got them. That would be great.
perfect. Yes, sorry. No, I will have a look.
No, it's, yeah, very few people have, well, I don't think, yeah, Philip said he was happy with most of it, but other than that, everyone's in the same boat this week, I think. So definitely don't feel like you're holding up anything.
No. I will definitely, because if I don't look at it tomorrow, I'm away next week, so I
Okay.
won't then at all. So I'll try to prioritise it first thing.
Thank you. Yeah.
Did you say the version on the Dropbox is updated from the one you emailed?
It's very slightly, yeah. I've made some small formatting changes, so maybe comment and edit on, well, ideally on that one if you can. If you make comments on another one, that's fine. Just send it to me and I'll still be able to incorporate those. It's not too much of a difference between the two.
Cool, thanks, Ben.
No problem.
Hey, jolly good.
Yeah. If
All
there's
right.
nothing else, then I'll leave everyone for their evening.
Good. See
Right.
some of you tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, won't be too long.
Bye all.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye then. Bye.